now that I got your attention, you should stick around and watch, because you know why? This is the Humble Club, baby. That's right. First video as an official Humble Club YouTube channel. We changed the Humble Star to the Humble Club, if you guys don't know. And when I say I try, I'm actually committed to posting videos again for the Humble Club. So, do you remember this video? What if it all turned out fine? This was a short film that I created, let's say, a year ago, I'd say, because it was last summer I remember recording it, and then I posted it a few months after the summer ended. So I'm gonna say, yeah, it was about a year ago. And that video was completely raw emotion that I really wanted to put out there, because whenever I do a short film, I love short films, by the way. I mean, I took inspiration from this one YouTuber called Shy Guy, and I would also watch other YouTubers that would create these short films of just like no talking. It's just a person that has maybe subtitles on the bottom, and they're just going through something. They're having a certain, like, the video is conveying a specific feeling, and it's supposed to give out a message of some sort. So the message that I was trying to give when I said, what if it all turned out fine, was just how your brain, as a high schooler, when you're about to graduate, like, that was me. I graduated already, but last year I was going into senior year, and I'm like, man, I'm a senior. Am I going to go and apply for colleges? Am I going to go out and do this? Am I going to go to the workforce? Am I going to go to the army? Like, that was just my thought process. Like, what am I going to do with my life? I don't know, right? That was just the I don't know. I mean, I've been in school for 12 years, right? 12 plus years been in school, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Yes, if you're an adult, adults will come up to me all the time and just say, you're young, you'll figure it out. But then again, it's like, I'm going into the real world. Like, shouldn't I go into the real world already having the idea, like, okay, I know exactly what I want to do. I know exactly what I'm gonna do, and this is my plan, A, B, C, D. Like, I always remembered when I was little, I would think, I'll have it all figured out by when I'm a senior. But guess what? I graduated. Guys, look, last week was 2 weeks ago, actually, now. I graduated from high school. Here's a few pictures of me graduating. And I was, lucky and I got to say, wear these tassels, get my diploma. It wasn't even a diploma. I went up there and I got a blank template case holder, and then I had to go back to the school a week later and get my diploma. Anyway, that's another story for another day. But it's just something that I would think about all the time, that, this day is going to come, but it felt so far away. And guess what? Now I'm already saying what it was 2 weeks ago when I graduated, and it's just the thought process behind what's next. Like, everybody else is like, okay, I'm going to go to college. Now, I'm not going to bash and say college is bad, because yes, college is for some people, and then college is for others. For me personally, I'm going to tell you right now that it wasn't for me. That it's not for me. But who knows? My mind can change. This is what I said in the last video. I said I'm going to take a gap year, because for those that they say, yes, you got to go to college, you should definitely go to college, just so then you can have that safety net, that plan B, just in case if things don't go the way you plan it out for them. And yes, I get that. That makes sense, having a major. But then you look at it in another sense. When you go to college, you're spending a whole bunch of money on tuition. Let's say if I go to college and I'm majoring in undecided, or as we like to call exploratory science. Now that's just a fancy word of saying I'm undecided. That's just a fancy way of saying that. I want to go out, and if I'm going to go to college, I might as well at least have an idea of what I'm going to do. Like, if I was going to say I'm going to be a lawyer, yes, go to college, and then go past the bar, then do the law school, right? Do all that, then, right? I have the plan, then I go to college. You don't go to college without the plan. That doesn't make sense. Now you're just paying a whole bunch of money to go to the 13th grade. Make that make sense, people. Come on. So that's why I thought it would be a waste of time, but I already knew that I wanted to do business. I already knew I wanted to do entrepreneurship. But if you look at every single brochure when it comes to looking into business, it's to be somebody, to work for somebody else's business, to work for someone, to be underneath somebody. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I want to be my own. I want to be my own business. I want to be my own boss. I want to be the entrepreneur. And when it comes to entrepreneurship as a class, it's just one word. There's no like underneath. It's like showing all the courses and all that stuff. Entrepreneurship is a very, I guess it's a taboo word in college, because they don't teach you how to be your own boss. They don't teach you how to be the person that's going to run their own company. I want to learn how to make my own stuff. I want to learn how to be my own boss. That's the bottom line, what I'm trying to get at. I feel like I've already learned a lot of real world experiences through high school using the Humble Club to get guest speakers. If you guys seen our social media, you can see that we've gotten some pretty cool people to come talk, give real world life lessons, give that experience, give those stories that nobody can make up, because that's real life stuff. For example, we had Eat Clean Bro, Jamie Giovinazzo, and he was talking about how you learn in high school calculus, but do you learn what the calculus is actually for? He was talking about how you can use calculus to calculate how much rice you need to put in this burrito that he makes for his meal preps. Using calculus on the curvature, right? Learning 3D graphs and like figuring out how much volume and all that stuff, like just like the specifics, the data, crunching numbers on a burrito. It's just so funny. And it just really goes to show that yes, we do learn some valuable things in school, but I'm gonna say it. I was one of those guys that was in class saying, what the hell am I gonna use this stuff for? What am I gonna use the Pythagoras theorem for? Why am I gonna learn what slope? Why am I learning slope? Why am I learning what Thomas Jefferson did, or this guy did, Andrew Jackson? Like, why do I care about that, right? But maybe along the lines, that type of stuff will help me in the future. But then again, college, you're paying money to do something without a plan. And I'm telling you all this from the experience as a high school student that's graduated. Because I'm not saying that I know all the answers. I never said that in the first place. But I'm just telling you from my point of view, what I see. I'm giving you my sight, what I think about it. So I believe, truly what I believe is when you go to high school and you graduate, I feel like you should definitely get some real world experience of some kind. If you did not already get in high school, you should go and figure out some ways to put yourself out there. I created this club to put myself out there to, step out of my comfort zone. Any way you can step out of your comfort zone, that's gonna help you. 10 guarantee it. Go out and do something big. Do something better that you have not ever tried before. Putting yourself out there, like doing volunteer for yourself. Putting yourself out there by creating a project. Putting yourself out there by doing something new that you've never tried before. Because guess what? You only live once, my friend. It's a YOLO moment. So live your whole life like it's a YOLO moment. Because guess what? My life is passing me by, and I'm just gonna say, like, I know I'm only 18, but I'm saying that life has already passed me by so fast as an 18-year-old, and I'm just thinking about it. Every day is going like that. Now let me tell you what I've been doing so far. So as I've graduated, I graduated on a Thursday 2 weeks ago. Then the following Monday, I decided to go straight to the workforce, and the only reason why I was able to go straight to a job was because of the Humble Club. The Humble Club helped me find these entrepreneurs and people that are amazing current leaders right now. I found this company from, so let me explain a little bit. So I also do martial arts, and I've also been teaching classes, and I do private lessons. Now, one of the private lesson students that I've been teaching, their father gave me a recommendation because they've seen what I've been doing, they see how I teach, they see how I do the Humble Club, and basically talk to all these people. This would be great for doing TNT funding. So there's this company that I work with, TNT funding and direct lending. I gave a poor explanation the last video because I didn't work yet, but now as somebody who's been in the job for a week, I can provide a little bit better information. So we're direct lenders, and I get to help fund companies that need funding. So if they submit an application or some submission, I get to help them out. And that's how that works. So now I get to talk on phone calls, calling all these businesses up and asking if they need funding. And then we close deals. And that's great. I got to fund my first deal already. out there and putting myself out there, because I don't know what my direct idea is, but like Steve Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forward, but you can connect the dots looking backwards. Everything makes sense now when I look back in my high school journey. Everything connected when I look back. But in the looking forward, there's nothing to connect because it's in the future. I can't see it. But I can definitely tell you right now, I'm making something great happen. I'm making history because this is something that I've never done in my life. History in my life. So I hope this video helps for anybody that's trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives. Just put yourself out there, really talk, really network. Networking has been the biggest thing in my life. I networked with a whole bunch of people over my high school career, and yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think I got along more with the adults rather than kids my age, so it kind of helped that way too, because it made me gain more connections with people that already have their life more figured out. And then I asked them, how can I help out? How can I help out with their business? Get that experience. Then it helps me figure out what I want to do. And so far, what I've figured out with my life is that I like to help people. I like giving back. And that's why we have this Humble Club. And I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with the Humble Club, because it was all figured out when I was at the school. Now I don't have a school to back me up. I don't have the school to back me up anymore. Now in the real world, trying to have the Humble Club in the real world and create real world events, real world opportunities for the outside world. And I want to see where it takes me. If anybody has any comments, any suggestions on what you think you guys, if you guys would like to, you guys can comment down on what your plans are for when you graduate high school, or if you already have graduated high school, what are you going to do? Because I really would like to hear everybody else's personal stories. I also would like to hear if you guys can comment down what you guys think I should do to improve and expand on the Humble Club, because like I said before on the last video, I didn't mention this actually. I want to do more. I want to do podcasts. I want to podcast with the guest speakers we've had. I want to podcast with real current leaders, anybody and anyone. And I want to create events. I want to do fundraisers. I want to help people. I want to make the world a better place. That's all I want to do. Give back to the community, to the earth, to the club members themselves, to schools, to ourselves even, like anybody, literally. Giving back in any shape or form. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, because you know we're going to do a crazy journey together. We're going to the top, people. And like I always say, you know, because I don't want to ruin that streak that we've always had with the Humble Start. This is the Humble Club now, but it only goes up from here.